room is actually now Susie and Juno's Olympic training ground, because they just have this space to run back and forth and all these things that they can just jump on and off of. It's like they're playing sometimes, a floor is lava, just jumping from each. Oh, the phrase "it's getting there" becomes very monotonous during this process, but it is getting there, and I feel the progress we've made since I last showed you this space is significant. Obviously, it's painted. We chose Stone 1 by Paint and Paper Library. Radiators are in. What else? That's it, but obviously that's big progress. Electrics are all done, so switches are all on. Wall lights have been dispatched. Hopefully they arrive next week. I'm also really, really, really hopeful that windows will arrive next week. It would be great if they arrived in this vlog. That would be so nice to show you the windows, because the temp windows are really bringing it down on the unfinished reveals. So the paint itself, I mean, I've chosen probably the greyest day to show you this space. I should have shown it to you yesterday when the sun was out. It has a very subtle warmth to it, and I think that will be, once this room is dressed, that will really bring out the warmth in this colour. At the moment it looks so flat. Also, because the light is being diffused, there's a very weird kind of eerie light in here. It's strange. It's bright, but it's because it's diffused, it's a bit strange. And I think once we get actual full natural light in here, that will also just change how the paint looks a little bit. Because when it has been a sunny day, the paint looks so beautiful. If we get another sunny day this week, I'll show you. But yeah, like I was saying, once I think it's all dressed and we've got the warmth of like furniture in here and the wardrobes and the curtains, it will really pull it together. And also the floor. The floor will make such a big difference. Obviously it's looking really flat now because the floor is just this like these black protective mats. But we got some more floor samples from Denison. Guys, I just cleaned this and it's just I'll show you those in a moment because these are beautiful. So these two are oak. Ordered these because I wanted to see what the oil finishes were like. This is a very light oil, and then this is an invisible oil, and then these three are Douglas fir. So this is a white lion soap, this is an invisible oil, and then this is a light oil. Immediately fell in love with the Douglas fir. The grain and the pattern, it's just so beautiful. And when I've been looking at images of the Denison floors on their website, they're so beautiful. This one's very warm. I think it's a bit too warm. Whereas these two, if I actually hold them up in the light, you can see really, really nice. So that's the white lion soap, and then this is the this was the light oil, was it? Yeah. There also is a natural lion soap, which I'm interested to see as well. So I might order that as a sample. But yeah, these two are definitely front runners at the moment. I know it's not much, but just having this blank space to film in is really great. We haven't got a floor, obviously, so I've been filming some like TikToks and reels in here, so I had to put a sheet down because otherwise the floor just looked ridiculous. But yeah, you can see now that the sun's coming through that the paint has that very subtle warmth. It's so nice. Anyway, this, what was I going to say? There was something else. Anyway, this vlog contains a sponsorship with Lily Silk. I've picked a few pieces from their website to style up this week. And I've picked several very like simple lightweight knits, which has actually turned out to be perfect timing because it's gone from like -1 right up to 13 degrees here within the space of like 5 days. And it's really funny because everyone's like, it feels quite warm, doesn't it? And it's like, yeah, it does, because we've been starved of double digits for so long. 13 degrees does feel pretty warm. But I have to say it's been very nice wearing like lighter knits because I feel like I've been hidden underneath like a thick turtleneck for so long. Like when I first put this jumper on, I was like, what is this? It feels very weird to have this area exposed. But now I'm like, actually, it's so nice to just be wearing like something much lighter. This is 100% cashmere and it is so soft. It just feels so like just feathery and light. I'm wearing a size medium just because I wanted it to fit a little bit loose. I probably could have gotten away with a small actually and still had a nice sort of relaxed fit. This has been a very typical working from home kind of outfit, to be honest, at the moment. This is the pleats please skirt that I showed you recently. When I'm working from home, like when I fully need to have my head in like editing mode and I'm going to be on my laptop for quite a while, I have to get dressed like head to toe, otherwise I just can't. It's like a state of mind thing. I can't seem to just get on with things. Whereas if it's a day where I'm kind of like pottering about, maybe doing the occasional thing on my laptop, but not fully dedicating myself to like editing something or, you know, doing a mood board or whatever, I can get away with like leggings and a jumper. So this has been a typical like, right, I need to get my head in the game. I need to feel like I've made some effort. The pleats please skirt. And then obviously I'm not clumping around the house in like a solid shoe. So I've been wearing my Vivi Venezia Velvet Mary Janes because they're obviously they don't get worn outside unless it's like the height of spring or summer pretty much. So in the interim, when they're in hibernation, they get used as a very nice house shoe. So yeah, but yeah, the knit's really nice. Do you remember I said, was it in last week's video, the last video or the video before, I said I wanted to try a bit of camel out because weirdly I don't have much camel within my wardrobe and I wear a lot of black, so it kind of, sorry, the hair is very fluffy. It kind of, I was like, it makes sense. I wear a lot of black. The two go together. I had grand plans of filming an outfit reel today. But the weather just, it's too dark. It's not working. Everything just looks a bit bleh. So I've decided to quit while I'm ahead and not make it work, if you know what I mean. It's probably for the best actually, because I cannot stand the sight of my hair anymore. Any content I've like shot in the last couple of weeks, I've just been like, those roots need sorting. And I'm going to the hairdresser tomorrow morning to have my colour refreshed, and I couldn't be more excited about a hair appointment. I'm not going to have a major cut. I might just have it trimmed at the back because it feels like it's sitting a bit longer at the back than it is round the front, but that will be it. It's just a focus on colour and just reviving the top half, because my natural hair colour is quite dull and flat, so when my roots start to get quite long, this whole top section of my head just feels really like ugh. I just need a bit of colour variation at the top there, so that when I do tie it back, it doesn't look like I've got a completely different colour hair, because also it means my bun is, when I put my hair in a bun, my bun is a different colour to the top of my hair, and it looks a bit strange. Dean has just pulled up outside and he's supposed to be at work, and I'm like, you're home early? This is quite a treat. Susie and June will be very pleased.
Yeah, that I don't like, that sort of thinness. I quite like to just chop maybe, half an inch off.
Voila. Take my scarf off so you can actually see. Much fresher. Very pleased with how it's looking now. Bit cooler. Everything's been smudged higher up. Some nice face framing bits around the front here, a bit lighter. And that's great for when I tie it up. And yeah, I just had a bit of weight taken out of the back. Oh, the awkward stage is close though. Collarbone is here. I'm very nearly there. Just want to mention two products that I really liked recently, hair products. So I'd say for the 2 months leading up to my colour being redone, I was using the Heart of Glass Silkening shampoo from Davines and the conditioner as well. This is a very gentle purple shampoo. So gentle that actually I started using this just as my regular shampoo. It just kept things looking fresh. It really prolonged my colour. I think me and my hairdresser worked out I hadn't had my colour done for 5 to 6 months, and this really helped keep it fresh right up until the end, I'd say. There's no extreme toning, like it doesn't start making hair look grey, which I feel like some purple shampoos can, make parts of the hair start to look a bit grey. This just, I don't know, just gives that blonde hair that just like sparkle that it needs when it's starting to look a little bit dull. I won't use this now though for maybe like 2 to 3 months. I'll just sort of, monitor the colour, and when it starts to feel a bit dull, I'll use this again. But because this is all fresh, I don't really want to like mess with it by putting, not that I think it would do anything bad, but I'm very happy with how my colour looks. I don't think I need to be using this just yet again. And then I've just started using the Living Proof Air Dry Styler. So I am a big fan of JVN Air Dry Cream. It's fantastic. However, I think this is better. This, for my hair, creates even better definition. So the way in which I only ever blow dry my hair if I want like a straight look. I don't rough dry my hair or anything like that. I'm always just leaving my hair to completely air dry naturally, and my hair's quite frizzy, so I'm always trying to look for a product that just reduces that frizz and helps, because this is my hair's natural wave and texture, so I want a cream that will reduce the frizz and help just define this wave a bit more. Otherwise everything can be quite fluffy otherwise. This is really good at creating that definition. So the way in which I dry my hair, and it's quite a long drying process, I can only really do it if I have an early shower in the evening, is once I've washed and conditioned my hair in the shower, when it's sopping wet, I start to do the scrunch technique. Rather than getting out of the shower and doing some towel work and then doing it, I'll do it when it's sopping wet in the shower, and then I have to put a towel on my shoulders, let the towel just soak up all the excess water, and then just completely leave it. Don't touch it. And I get some fantastic waves using that technique. And the way in which I use this is I'll just use a pea-sized amount of my hands, you know, swish it all around, and then I'll just do another round of just like scrunching the product into my hair. But yeah, the key is to just do it from sopping wet, and that is how I get some really great definition. But obviously it takes so long for my hair to dry. It's not too bad if we've got the fire on or the heating's pumping. But yeah, it can take several hours for my hair to dry when I do it that way. But there's something about doing it from like soaking wet where I get some really nice sort of like chunky definition and wave. Anyway, 2 great products that I wanted to rave about. I have returned from one of my favourite places that I like to frequent. You know where it is, it's Lidl. I went in to get breakfast bits, and I have returned with something that couldn't be further from breakfast ingredients. Are you ready for this? A sewing machine. This just further validates my theory that the middle of Lidl will present things to you just at the right time, just when you need something. When an idea has floated into your head, you'll walk down the middle of Lidl and there it is, that thing that you're like, I could really do with that. Literally a few days ago, I was like, I could really do with a sewing machine. Like, I bought a pair of trousers from Studio Nielsen, a new navy pair. They're so beautiful. I've been on the hunt for a new navy trouser for a while, but I've had a very strict criteria, and they pretty much tick all the boxes apart from length, obviously. And I was looking at the hem and I was like, this is not a complex hem, like I could adjust this myself. And with a lot of things I take to the tailor, I can do myself, but because I don't have a sewing machine, and I'm not going to do it by hand, so I was like, I could really benefit from one. In the long run, it would be, it'd be a lot cheaper, and I can just tailor things as and when I want to, rather than taking it to a tailor and waiting for them to do it. I have borrowed a friend's in the past, but obviously taking a sewing machine back and forth is kind of annoying. So yeah, walked into Lidl, lo and behold, a tower of sewing machines, beacon of light shining down. It was truly, truly meant to be. Lidl just knew that this had popped into my head recently. So I'm chuffed with that. I'm really, really pleased. I'm gonna have to set this up in the studio outside though, because I think just the noise alone is gonna send those two crazy. And just the kind of chaos of unboxing something new sometimes gets a bit much for them. So that can be something that lives in the studio, and I can do my little adjustments out there. I've just been like looking back on some clips as I start to sort of slowly edit the vlog. I don't know, I feel like a bit here, there and everywhere. I don't know if I'm just overanalyzing things because in my brain it's quite chaotic at the moment, but I'm like, oh man, I feel like the energy is a bit chaotic. Anyway, it's a peak inside my brain, I guess. I just feel like I'm juggling like house and work at the moment. Like we're both kind of like project managing our own renovation. Dean's very much on the kind of like tradesperson side, and I'm more like finishes, so like talking to flooring companies, lighting, etc, etc. So there's just a lot of back and forth with different people at the moment, and I'm also experiencing quite a busy period with work, which I'm not complaining about whatsoever, but it's always the case that everything just comes at once, and then come April there'll probably be like tumbleweeds rolling by and I'll have nothing happening. So I'm very grateful that I'm experiencing this busy period, but a lot of people want me to create sponsored video content, and I typically work a lot slower with video versus photo. If you rush me with photos, I actually end up creating some of like the best things I've ever created. But I can't be rushed with video, because with video, if it is rushed, it's very easy to tell, in my opinion, it's easy to tell when I've been rushed, because you can kind of just like see in the way I'm holding myself and talking and stuff. So yeah, it's just a lot of video content that I'm creating at the moment, and I just kind of want to do it at my own pace and make sure it's, you know, exactly how I want it. But yeah, all great things. Most of it is like sponsored content for over on Instagram, but all like great things and really nice brands that I'm very like grateful that they want to work with me and like trust in my sort of like content direction that I like to do things in. Speaking of brands that I'm very grateful to work with, this is the second Lily silk piece that I want to show you. I have a black cashmere t-shirt that I wear so much. It's like an unsung hero, and I don't realise how hard it actually works in my wardrobe. So I thought a cream cashmere t-shirt was a no-brainer. This is like softer than the softest cashmere. I don't know, it's just somehow it's extra soft, you know, like it's just got this like, it feels like a cloud. It's so just like light and has that like really nice fuzz to it. I think I'm wearing a small. I'm pretty sure I went for a small because I wanted it a little bit looser, but probably could have also gone with an extra small. It's a really nice subtle off-white, so it's a really good one for just like with black trousers and navy trousers, because it just has that softness that just kind of like doesn't create too much of a contrast, like a stark contrast, if you know what I mean. And I like the sleeve length, very just, you know, like it's a really understated basic that like, I don't know, just like the small little details, like the sleeve being like this length is just like a really nice touch versus like it being more like a t-shirt type length. The colour, a very nice touch as well. Do you know what, actually I'm going to show you it with the trousers that I want to get tailored upstairs. And these are the navy Studio Nicholson trousers that I mentioned when I was showing you my new sewing machine. They need taken up because at the moment I can only really wear them with a heel. And as nice as they look with a heel, I don't wear shoes like this regularly enough to justify keeping them this length. So I was gonna say I'm gonna have them taken up. I'm gonna do it with my new sewing machine myself, so that they sit just on my inside ankle. So yeah, like right on the ankle, and then I think they will work pretty much with, I can still wear them with heels. They'll just sit more like that, which actually, do you know what? I like that. I like to be able to see a bit more of the shoe. Anyway, I'm just brain dumping right now. What an absolutely glorious evening for a run. Although my eyes are watering. Is this hay fever already? This year I decided that I was going to reduce the amount of runs that I track. I used to track every single run on Strava, and I thought to myself, this is not needed, and it's actually creating an unhealthy relationship with running because I was getting so in my head about the numbers. So I decided to just track one a week, and then all the others are completely untracked, and it has set me free. It has massively changed my relationship with running, and the enjoyment I feel when running is so much more now, because at the end of the run I don't have all those numbers, and then I don't get in my head about that. Like, I don't even think about pace as much as I used to anymore. And something that was quite bad is every time I would end a run, I would look at those numbers and I would really compare them to how like my pace was, say, like 5 years ago when I was running way more regularly, going to the gym, you know, doing loads of strength training, like really pushing myself to improve my pace and like increase my distance all the time. And I don't really want to do that anymore. I would love to get to a point where I can run 10 kilometers quite comfortably. That's really only my goal, but I don't feel like I need to do that through constantly tracking every single run. It's great. I just give myself like a time limit, you know. I'm like, right, okay, I've got 30 to 40 minutes, I'll go out for a run, and that's it. Once the run's done, I'm like, okay, I feel great. And I don't think about if I stopped loads, I don't think about if my pace was up and down or if my pace was slower than I hoped it was. I'm just like, I feel good. And that's that. And that is how I would like to feel with all of my runs going forward. So yeah, I just do one tracked one a week because I still have a kind of like, I still have an interest in my pace. But yeah, that's it really. So these are the Nordic Knots curtain samples. This is the sheer in pale sand. You can see it's quite sheer. Then I think there's been a name mix-up. So this sample is labelled as the Nordic shade. It's 100% wool. It's absolutely beautiful. I don't know why this one's so much bigger than the others. But anyway, this is really, really nice. It feels so soft. But when I go online, the shade is a cotton linen blend. So I think this is the shade which they've just labelled as heavy curtain. It's really nice. I love the warmth of the white. This is actually really similar to what we have elsewhere in the house. It's just not quite as heavy. And then when I go to the Grand, this is coming up as a wool curtain. So I actually think this is the Grand. Kind of confusing, but I love this. I just think it's a little bit too warm. I think so this is the Grand in the perfect white. I think this is going to be a bit better, more along the lines of what I was imagining. So I'm going to order a sample of this. But I think this, because the two windows are road facing, this is too sheer to have just this alone. If we were going to have something like this, we'd need this alongside it. And I don't really want to do like a double curtain type thing in that room. I just want one singular one. So it's either going to be this or this. But yeah, I'll order a sample of this in the other white. Where is everyone? What's everyone up to? It's been a slow morning this morning whilst I wait for the rain to stop so I can go out. But I feel like I've been quite productive and I've been very organised. I've started to create a bit more of a thorough shop my storefront. I see a lot of other creators do this and I'm like, I wish I was that organised, because it's probably quite helpful for you, especially if you've maybe seen something and you didn't save it, or you can't quite remember exactly what it was, or like perhaps you didn't, bookmark the link or whatever. In theory, if I keep on top of it, you'd be able to go over to this Shop My Storefront and hopefully find maybe what it is that you're looking for. Also, for me, it probably is going to be quite a good tool, because I get a lot of people message me asking, like, they'll be like, oh, I think I saw, say, like a navy jumper that you mentioned a few weeks ago and I can't quite remember what it is. I can grab a link quickly and send it to someone rather than doing like Googling or like trying to remember exactly what it was myself. So hopefully it'll be a mutual beneficial thing. So far I've done 3 categories. I've done wardrobe favourites, so that's kind of things that are regularly being featured both here and on Instagram. Wish list. So you can just have a look at things that I'm kind of like just wish listing. And then beauty and hair favourites. I feel like those 3 cover the main things, and then maybe I'll add some more categories at a later date. Anyway, I've got something fun in this box. I was supposed to have 2 of the thing that is in this box, but one of them has been delayed. It's the wall lights. Yeah, I ordered 2, only 1 has arrived, but I think it hopefully will come in the next few days. I hope so. Ta-da! I have unboxed this already, so I'm doing like a re-unboxing. I ordered this from And Light. So And Light were offering the quickest lead time, but they weren't the cheapest. And then I noticed they did a price match. So I found a website that was offering the light at a lower price, and then they price matched it. So I was like, great. And do you know what? I'd not seen this light in real life, so I wasn't actually entirely sure if the shade of white was actually going to look okay in this room, but it does, thankfully. Ooh. So it goes onto the wall, and you can just direct the light. I'll show you. It's so grey again. I wish it was sunny so everything looked nicer. And voila. It just looks like a white square. But I feel once it's up on the wall and the light is on, it's going to be a very nice subtle wall light. The sheet that I was using to cover up these floor mats has been commandeered and turned into a sort of laundry basket bed situation. And I don't want to take it away from them because it's quite cute when I see them napping in it. But I will have to take it away because I'm going to need the laundry basket soon. But you can see why I've been covering these sheets, because even though we're cleaning them every day, it's just like continuous dust, and will be like that until we get a floor in here, which hopefully will, if we don't have a floor installed by the time we go to New York. Can you see?
If we don't have it installed, we should have it delivered at least by the time we leave, because it's all worked out really well actually. I've been back and forth with Dinnerson and they were like, we've got this 1 pack of Douglas fir ready to be shipped if you're interested in it, and it's the finish that we like, because otherwise if we want a different wood or finish, it's a 14-week lead time. And I don't think I've got a 14-week wait in me, especially because we really want to get cracking on the wardrobe and we need a floor down to do that. So yeah, it's worked out quite nicely. Hopefully we can get that delivered before we go. Anyway, it looks like it's brightening up actually, which is good. I'm now about to head out and I was like, I'm just going to chuck a raincoat over the top of this. So before I do that, I'll show you what I am wearing. This is another quite good, I was thinking this is actually another good kind of like working from home, like business up top, you know, feeling put together up top, but then comfy down below. I probably wouldn't be stomping around the house in my loafers. I'd probably swap those out for just like something a bit lighter. But yeah, this is a good little working from home combination. I love the cut of this shirt. It's relaxed, but it's not too oversized. So I could easily do like a tuck with this as well if I wanted. It's not too long as well. Like, love the high-low, but love that the high is quite high on me anyway, because most shirts end up being like down to here on me. Also quite like the contrast button, something I wouldn't usually go for, but I think because I'm not wearing any jewellery and it's otherwise a very kind of just like flat outfit, although the textures are nice. I think there's some nice textural contrast going on here, but the addition of the contrast button just lifts it a bit without adding jewellery or any other like significant details. But yeah, like I said, I'm just going to whack a big long raincoat over the top of this and a practical hat. That right there is the silhouette of a stretched out sunbathing Susie. Look how plucked our curtains are. I'm finally going to look into getting them replaced, because they're pretty much out of the plucking stage now. I really had to practice the art of letting go with our sheer curtains and the corners of our rugs. Even with Susie, and she's quite respectful of most of our belongings, but she loved a curtain, and Juno just went wild. I won't replace the outer, it's just the sheer that they really enjoyed. Look at that one as well. Absolutely loving the sun, the pair of them. Oh, look at you. Oh yeah. Oh my god, it is unseasonably warm. Way too hot to be wearing that hat for today's run. I'm overheating. I added Lady Gaga's new song to my running playlist. Such a good song to run to. I mean, an amazing song. I'm a big Gaga fan, and I love Abracadabra, and I'm really excited about the new album. But that really got me over the 4K mark on today's run, and inspired me to add a lot more of her back catalogue to my running playlist and rekindle my love for Mother Monster. I also love to finish a run. Now, I'm not someone who, like, I probably change my playlist every month. I get quite tired of listening to the same thing over and over. So a song will only really hang around on my playlist for like a month. Oh my god, I'm going to get hit by someone on a bike. But the one song that has stayed on there for forever is Head Over Heels by Tears for Fears, because I like to end my run with that song, because when it really gets into it, I just think it's a really nice finishing song. When I listen to it, I always think of the brilliant opening credits on Donnie Darko. Just some reflections on running. I always find it quite interesting hearing what people listen to when they run. I go through phases of listening to classical music. Sometimes I'll just listen to just real pure 80s cheese music. Sometimes I'll listen to more sort of that early 2000s dance music. At the moment it's a combination of a bit of everything really, but I have put quite a hefty amount of Gaga on there. So yeah, I thought I'd just share some running favourites. I've just been, oh my god, this tripod is so wobbly.
please stop wobbling. But then every time I touch it, it wobbles again. Please just bear with the wobble that you might be seeing. I've just been trying to like figure out some turtleneck layering, you know? A turtleneck underneath a shirt or like a v-neck is one of those things that when I see other people do it, I'm like, that looks really nice. And then when I try it, I'm like, it doesn't look right on me. And I think a large part of it is feeling comfortable with the layering. Like sometimes if the layers are too thick or the fabrics aren't kind of like sitting well together, it feels kind of uncomfortable. And I think a key to it, particularly with the turtleneck layering, is to use a turtleneck that's quite thin. I think where I've been going wrong in the past is using like a cashmere turtleneck or a thick like lambswool one. No wonder I felt uncomfortable, because that's a pretty thick layer to start with. This one from Lily Silk is I think it's 94 or 96% silk. No, 90% silk, 10% cashmere. It feels like butter. It is so smooth and it's very, very lightweight, which makes it great as the kind of like beginning base of some layering. And also because it's short sleeved, that is reducing that kind of like restrictive feeling that sometimes I feel with a turtleneck underneath things. I've just got this like deep V black knit, because I was looking through like the Hermes Margiela years type styling, and there's lots of deep V-necks, but I just think the black, oh, I don't know, maybe that's, I think, no, I don't think this is quite right. Try something else. Okay, I think where I was maybe going wrong was hair. Hair up. I've literally just scraped this back, it's not properly done. And perhaps the camel knit, because it's not as much of a contrast against the turtleneck. And then what I might do is just get like a fun sort of like pendant. Sorry, I'm just gonna, do I want this tucked in or not? These trousers are pretty tight around the waist. I think I'm pushing my luck trying to get a knit tucked in as well. Okay, I mean, it's very classic, but then it leaves room, so I'm just checking in the mirror. Then it leaves room for brooch, fun necklace, big earrings, something like that. I take back everything I said. I've arrived back at the black v-neck. I kept trying it with like black trousers, black skirt, grey trousers, and it was all wrong because I figured out that I needed something warm to kind of, so that it was sympathetic with the warmth of the turtleneck and balance out the kind of block of black. And I like the look that I have arrived at. I just need to add some more jewellery to give it more of an edge, because everything's quite soft and slouchy. This turtleneck is beautiful. The lightness of it, just how like featherweight it feels, is great, because I can bet like I don't feel like uncomfortable or restricted or anything like that. And everything sits very nicely on top of it. It's very like just, there's no like rucking up or anything like that. These are the Roe trousers that came back from the tailor, which completely my fault, should have been taken up even more. It's my fault because I was like, don't worry, I don't need to put them on, you don't need to pin them, let's just do 2 hems up, when really it should have been about 4 hems up. Like I've just turned up this leg here, and even still it's a little bit too long, yeah. So I'm going to take them up a bit more myself, rather than go back and be like, I'm really sorry, I didn't try them on. But yeah, I like how all of this, oh, I think my food shop's here. It pains me to say this, but it's looking extremely unlikely that the windows will arrive in this vlog. I mean, it's Friday. This vlog will go live on Sunday. I think they would have told us by now if they were going to come and install some windows today. So I'm just going to keep you on the edge of your seat for another week, you know. Probably get them installed and people will be like, wow, that was such an underwhelming wait. But they've been delayed now several times due to glass issues, so I'm really hoping next week that they will be okay. I'm hoping that the glass and everything will be all right, and that, yeah, they'll get installed next week. So yeah, sorry about that. I was really hoping that they would arrive. I realised that in a clip slightly earlier on, I mentioned going to New York, and I have not given that any context or even mentioned that we're going to New York. we're going to New York. So Dean is 40 next month, and he wanted to go somewhere he's never been before, and he loves galleries, he loves pizza, and he loves sandwiches. And I just thought, where better place to go than New York? So we're going for 5 nighs, and I'm really excited. I've only been twice, and the first time I went was in a work capacity, so I think I was only there for 3 nights, and I didn't really get to see much of the city. And then the second time I went was just before Christmas a couple of years ago with my friend Claudia, and it was so fun to experience New York at that time of year, but there is still so much of the city that I want to explore. And I can't wait to explore it with Dean, because we haven't been on like a kind of city exploration type holiday for at least 2 years, I think. The last couple of years we've just been on like sunny holidays together. So I can't wait to see Dean experience New York for the first time. So yeah, that's why there's like a bit of a push with everything in that room at the moment, because we're just trying to get as much done in that room before we go away, so that when we come back we can really start to focus on downstairs, because we've got a kitchen. We've got a kitchen and a downstairs bathroom to get planning. So yeah, we're going to New York. The other thing I just wanted to mention, so I'm just going to put some earrings in so that I don't look like an egg. I've almost finished the Goldfinch. I told myself I wanted it finished by the end of February, because I started it at the beginning of January. So it's taken me a while to read it. It has really taught me, though, to embrace a slower pace of reading. When I said that I was going to start it, lots of people were like, so excited for you, it's one of my favourite books, can't wait for you to read it. And then lots of people were like, yeah, I never finished it, I really struggled to get through it. So I went into that book with 2 very different ideas of how I might experience it. And I did struggle with it at first, because I'm someone who's just like, well, if I'm not gripped within the first 30 to 50 pages, then I'm not going to enjoy it. And I do think that is quite a like narrow-minded way of approaching a book, like wanting to be gripped immediately. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, but I think if I just allowed myself to embrace like a slower pace of reading, I would open up my world to a lot more books, that's for sure. So I was like, right, this could take me a while to read, it could take me a while to get into, but I'm going to embrace that. And it has definitely taught me to just kind of like savour a book a bit more, because each time I've been reading it, I've just been like trying to really like focus and enjoy the pace of it, and really sort of like think about, I don't know, I guess the world building, the character building, and maybe just think beyond just like the surface level of the story I'm being told. I don't know, I have not actually like properly vocalized my feelings about this book, or like how my reading experience has been. This is literally the first time I'm saying this kind of stuff out loud, so it's probably not making any sense. The long story short, I have enjoyed it. It's just been quite slow. I've been reading it in very small little chunks, as opposed to like longer reading sessions where I really sit down and get into it. And I do feel like I am at a point now where I just want to finish it, because it has been 2 months and my to be read list is getting bigger and bigger. I wouldn't read it again, but I have enjoyed the story. As always, a fantastic book review from me. And the last thing I wanted to say before I go is the next vlog will be the week after next, because I'm going to Paris on Friday, next Friday, and I'm there for the weekend. So, and I want to vlog that. So yeah, the vlog won't go live until like a couple of days once I'm back from Paris. But yeah, fingers crossed next week there'll be windows. There'll probably be more house rambling, more outfit rambling, with a sprinkling of Paris at the end. So until then, I hope you're all well, and I shall see you in the next one. Oh, hello. Who's come up for their 3 p.m. cuddle like absolute clockwork, huh? You enjoying the buttons on this shirt? Get yourself comfy, hey? A little snooze on my lap. Okay, I'm gonna go now.